Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Spyro the Reignited Trilogy. Now Spyro's kind of a semi-new-ish series for me. My only experience with Spyro was playing a little bit of Spyro 3, and that's really only the first hub world. I don't know if I ever even made it past that, so I never even got to experience any of Spyro 1 and 2 other than kind of watching one of my friend's younger brothers play a little bit of Spyro 1. So I say new-ish series for me, not because I didn't know about it, but because I really didn't delve into it too much. Although the series isn't really running too much anymore, except for maybe Skylanders stuff. I haven't seen anything just regular Spyro in a really long time. Of course, other than the Reignited Trilogy. Initially, I planned on talking about each game individually, but instead I decided just to talk about everything as a whole, and I talk about parts of each game as I went along. So first of all, as a whole, Spyro sounds amazing and looks amazing. It's been graphically upgraded, of course, and it just looks like even the little animations and the way Spyro looks and the way he runs and everything, it legitimately looks like an animated movie that you can control. It just looks amazing. And I know a lot of more recent games, depending on the genre that you play, they go for a hyper-realistic style where you can see micro facial expressions and the sweat beating on their forehead. But I really just love these stupid cartoony looking games too, which is why Spyro, big plus, really love that kind of game. I really love a game that just has vibrant colors, and I mean there's dark worlds in it too, but vibrant colors and really embraces its like animated, cartoony, almost nature, and it looks amazing. I also want to put out there actually three specific things that I've seen other reviewers talk about, or other people in general talk about, and I want to talk about myself. Number 1 and 2 are, I did not have any trouble. Well, number 1 is I didn't have any trouble with the two things that everybody talked about, which was in Spyro 2, I think it was, there's like a professor that you gotta make sure doesn't get hit by rock splitters, and I think it's Fractured Hills or something like that is the world. I didn't have any issues with that. I think I messed up once or twice, but other than that, it was perfectly fine. And also in Spyro 3, I've heard people complain about, there's like these two, I think they're fireflies or something like that, or something, I'm not even really sure what they are, but they have a bomb and they're supposed to explode a cage so you can get eggs, and there's 2 of them. I didn't really have any trouble with that either. Other than like a handful of times messing up, it really wasn't so frequently like apparently tons of other people had. I don't know. But number 2, everyone loves the Treetops world. I hate the Treetops world. I didn't grow up with Treetops like everybody else did, it seems. So Treetops for me was just really annoying. So you might also apparently see my cat trying to sneak into the room while I'm doing this. So hopefully he doesn't do that. But anyway, the third thing I wanted to talk about is that a lot of people love Spyro 3, and Spyro 3 was the only game I played. I actually don't like it really, and I'll explain why soon. Alright, so continuing on, I just want to say that of all the Spyros, my favorite definitely was Spyro 1. Spyro 1 had you collecting dragons, or freeing dragons. Spyro 2 had you collecting orbs, and Spyro 3 had you collecting eggs. Spyro 1 is my favorite because I felt like it was almost like the purest of all the Spyros. I really liked its emphasis on platforming, and while there was kind of a like leap of faith aspect about it where sometimes in order to get certain dragons you really had to like just kind of jump and try and fly and figure out if you could find the best way to get to a dragon, whether it was like over like a pillar or something, or you had to do some complicated flying stuff. I kind of liked that the best. Spyro 2 had kind of a task-based system, a side quest-based system, where usually you'd want to beat the world first to unlock all of them, but generally there would be people around that would say, "Hey Spyro, can you like do me a favor?" And then you'd have to do whatever they wanted. And half the requests were really annoying and half of them weren't. And I think I was frustrated quite a little bit in Spyro 2. But usually only from a handful of quests that I just thought like, it was just, infuriating. But everyone has quests like that. Spyro 3, and this is my reason for disliking it the most out of all of them, is it has you feels like it has you doing more quests than you did in the Spyro orb collecting Ripto's Rage. You know, I felt like there was all these other portals that led to other areas of the world, and I'm not necessarily talking about the side characters with like Sheila and Agent 9 and stuff. I'm talking about where it led to just another small section of the world, and it would be like, hey Spyro, you have to go through this hyper fast tube and hit all the Rhinox while avoiding all these things, and it was just, why do I have to do this? Can't I just do some platforming? I honestly love the platforming of it. The more and more they added on with like the, hey Spyro, can you do this for me? I just didn't care as much, and it was kind of getting bothersome. And there were a handful of them where I was like, can I just give up? If I wasn't a trophy collector and I already had like 90% of the other trophies, I would have just given up, honestly, at that point. And if there wasn't trophies and this was the old Spyro, I would have just stopped. It's not that I don't like a challenge, it's that I don't like feeling super frustrated where I feel like it's not that I'm bad at it and need to get better, it's just like almost RNG and unfairness. And I'm not, you know, with some of the orbs it really is, you just gotta learn the pattern or get better or do whatever. But with some of the egg stuff, especially in the 2 different areas where it's like, oh, go through this tube hyper fast, and it's like, that's really annoying. Or, and especially Spyro 3, the skating, like, Spyro 3, I know a lot of people love it, but it had the most stuff in it that just annoyed me. Number 1, the skate parks. I hated the skate parks. Why did you have to do that? Number 2, I felt like they added even more of the, hey Spyro, do this for me, but it was way more annoying half the time. Number 3, the additional characters. While I loved Sheila a lot, and I actually loved Sergeant Bird a lot, Agent 9 sections and Bentley sections were super annoying. Bentley, you have to get really close to do anything with, and his Yeti boxing was just the absolute worst. And Agent 9 kind of felt weird to control, but I was willing to get used to it. But I hated his like Doom clone kind of thing. That was really annoying too. I mean, some people really like that. I really did not like that at all. You know, and then some worlds were just really annoying, like Fireworks Factory or whatever. But like I was saying, the other characters, Bird and Sheila were fine. Bentley and Agent 9, I could not, most of their worlds, their side, like their initial world's fine, but most of their like parts in other worlds, like I think it was Agent 9 or something like that in Fireworks Factory, that's just so annoying. I hated it so much. And it's funny because as a whole, I like Spyro 3, but there's just like chunks of it that are so irritating to deal with that, you know, I've seen people online say the most worlds they hated were in Spyro 3. They go, wait, why is Spyro 3 my favorite again? And part of me wonders if it is nostalgia. I never played through all of Spyro 3, so I didn't get that nostalgia. But Spyro 3 is definitely my least favorite. Spyro 2 had some interesting orb things. At the very least, even if some of the orb stuff annoyed me, I thought it had really, I think Spyro 2 arguably, maybe Spyro 1 it was, I don't really remember 100%, but Spyro 2 had a lot of very interesting worlds. I especially like I really like the Metro world where it's like futuristic and everybody's like advanced and robots, but the farm animals are coming in and like trying to take over because they're tired of being farm animals and stuff like that. But you know, like I was saying, Spyro 1 I feel like is truest in the platforming sense, and I really enjoyed doing all the platforming, but not so much doing all the random bullshit they wanted me to do. Now, that's not to say I didn't enjoy any of it, because Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 are made up of most of that, you know? But I would have much preferred just doing basic platforming or even advanced platforming instead of some really annoying, stupid, side questy kind of stuff. The only other thing I could think of that elevates Spyro 1 for me, but like lower Spyro 2 and 3, it are the, I think they're called flights in some of them and then speedways in the other ones. But, you know, in Spyro 1, it's just do the time trial. And that was great. You could do it in 6 worlds, 1 for each world, get it done, goodbye. But then in Spyro 2, they added another feature where it was like, oh, do the time trials, but then also you gotta do this thing with Hunter in every one. Go and do the thing with Hunter. Okay, and then in Spyro 3, it's, oh, okay, there's a time trial, and there's a race, and there's a thing with Hunter. And also, there's another world where you're gonna have to use sparks, and it's gonna be really, really annoying, so good luck with that. That's another thing. See, these are all just things piling up to make Spyro 3 not be as great for me, okay? Because there's The thing with Sparks that I didn't care about, there was the additional Speedway stuff that I didn't care about. There was weird, like, go through this stupid high-speed tunnel thing underwater that's really shitty to control. Stuff like that I really didn't care about to get eggs. And you would have to do shit like that more than once. There, the skate parks that I really didn't care for. You know, it was just a combination of all this. And to be honest, while I said that I like Spyro 1 or maybe Spyro 2's worlds better, all the worlds in Spyro look cool. Some are obviously better than others, but I don't think all of them are bad. I just think some of them are really annoying, but they all look good. I don't know if it's because of the updated graphics and just the way they made them look was nice or what was it, but while I don't like some of the worlds because of how annoying it was to traverse them, they all looked really good. So to be honest, they're all fun to play, all the Spyros. If I had to say something about the way they played overall, though, I guess I would say that Spyro 3, kind of 2, but mostly Spyro 3, had glitches for me. Spyro 2, the only glitch I found was when I got all of the, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like relics or tokens or something like that, like the key item of the world. For some reason, I had not done the Speedway yet, I was waiting. Well, it would not let me do the Speedway. There was one Speedway in, I think it was the second hub world, where you had to unlock some more orbs or something, and then a little like flight thing, you know, that tower of like sparkles that indicates you can go up and it'll get you to a different area or whatever it is. That was unlocked, but I hadn't done that one yet. So I had unlocked all the key item tokens and I just wanted to do the Speedway before I did that boss. But every time I'd come back to that world, it would auto put me there and go, do you want to fight the boss? And then I'd say no and I'd run out and I'd go to the Sparkle and I would go up to Sparkle and then it would like weirdly glitch for a second and then it'd take me to that area and go, hey, do you want to, back to the area with the girl and go, hey, do you want to fight the boss? And I did this 4 separate times. And every time it just glitched out and brought me back to the boss area. And so I just had to do the boss and then go back and fight and do the Speedway, which was super annoying just because I wanted to just do the Speedway then, get it over and done with. The most glitches I probably had, or at least the biggest rough patch I had, was in Spyro 3, where there were some kind of weird glitches. Like there's one in that dog pharaoh world that's in like a tomb, where around where the slide is, there's actually like an invisible box kind of thing that you can jump on near the start of the slide, and you can just fly to the end of the slide if you don't want to have to deal with losing like 1 billion lives like I did, to be honest. So there's that kind of glitch, but that's more of a positive glitch. For me, a whole chunk of Hub World 2 or 3 or whatever it was of that Hub World's, I guess it was 3, of Hub World 3's portals, like Fireworks Factory and stuff like that, at least 3 or 4 of them all lagged for me. I don't know why. Because the Hub World, I ran perfectly fine. In other worlds, I ran perfectly fine. In those like 3 or 4 Hub Worlds, the entire experience lagged. I was a couple seconds behind what I was actually doing. And I just remember thinking like, why is it lagging this hard? I even turned the game off and turned it back on and it just continued to lag. And maybe that's a thing on me and not the game, but it bothered me quite a bit. Eventually I got over it, I dealt with it, and then in the next world, I was fine. The next Hub World, I was totally fine. But for some reason, those portals just super lagged for me. And I don't know why. So there you go. That's also the reason Spyro 3 just not as good as the other ones. As like I said earlier, overall, all the Spyros are fun to play, and if you've never experienced Spyro or never experienced new updated Spyro, then definitely go ahead and give this a shot. It's definitely worth it. I think it's a pretty good price considering it's 3 games. Now, admittedly, it's 3 already existing games just updated, but especially if you're a fan of Spyro or never got a chance to play the originals, I'd recommend just getting this. I'm pretty sure they will overall be more expensive than if you just bought the game, like the original games, but I still think it was worth it, and for what it's worth, I enjoyed playing them all, and I platinumed them all, so hope that says something about it. But I really loved it, and I'd love to know what you thought about it, or if you have not played it yet, go play it and then tell me what you thought about it. And I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye!